I used to not worry so much about getting things right at the beginning. So the details really around getting started. And then I started to recognize, over time, if you don't get set up properly, you're very unlikely to do well in the end. And again, that's not an excuse not to start, to almost be paralyzed by indecisiveness and the inability to get started with something. So I've argued for that all the time. And I think we're in this point, it's more so about getting it right earlier on is better for you in the long run. And I'll use an example, like when they were calculating, how to get things into orbit or send things to different planets, for example, with NASA and some of the space programs, sometimes even converting from feet to inches, from feet to meters, and slight little small calculation errors by millimeters or inches here on Earth. By the time it got to Mars, it totally missed its mark. Why is this important? It's because, as I've said before, you don't want to put strength over dysfunction. So this is why I'm such a stickler for getting it right in terms of form right away. And rather than adding more weight onto it, I'd rather you get more proficient with the movement. And if you're perfectly technically fine, then you can add all the weight you want. Your body's not going to compensate. Your body's not going to rely on muscles that are not supposed to be doing that job. You're better set up to succeed when you're focusing on those details to begin with. And again, it's not to get lost in those weeds when you're started. It's to know that if I'm doing a row, let's say it's a bent over row and it's supported, I want to make sure my lats are doing the work, not the rear shoulders, not my obliques, not something else where I'm using momentum. I want to pick an adequate weight, and I want to focus on form. Focus on feeling the muscle that's intended to work. Because the more you get that connection, the stronger you get, but the safer you could be in the future. But more importantly, you don't need to add as much weight to get more results. You'll start to use more of your muscle to see better results if you've perfected the form first. So, as I said before, I'd rather you get more technical. I'd rather you become more proficient than quick. I'd rather you master the movement than speed up the movement. Again, that's the game of inches, that you get it right now, you master it now. Down the road, when you're adding much more weight on you're not really in danger because your body knows how to move properly and it hasn't been relying on the wrong muscles all this time. And then that's how some injuries end up happening. So little details at first, get that stuff right now, get the form corrected, and then down the road you can make it as hard as you want, add as much intensity to the movements as you like.